This is our operational briefing for this morning. We've got IAPs and map packets up here. Let's get started with an update, what went on last night, plans for today. Jeff Brand, Ops Chief.
Good morning. Last night, not a lot of activity last night. Yesterday, we started to experience some activity on some of our eastern fires due to the weather. When the IMEC gets up, we'll talk a little bit about the weather. Some of our priorities today, button up some of the fires that we've really been plugging hard on and starting to look at the ones that were unstaffed. Currently up here in Branch 4, Red Mountain's going to be a priority for us. It's going to be active today. Out here in Branch 1, we got active fires out there that got up and started running. Remember, just because a fire has a ring around it, indicating that it is contained, it is just that. It has a ring around it, and we've had to move on to other fires. So some of these fires that have not been mopped up have been problematic, so we're addressing that. Resources are coming in. We appreciate your patience, flexibility, and working with us as it relates to what we have here. Down here in Branch 5, we have some priority fires also. Sugarloaf is going to be a concern. We want to button this one up in Branch 3, Low Gap. That's another priority today. Any questions for operations? Thank you. Chris, IMET.
Morning, everyone. Okay, we got a couple of concerns this morning that are kind of not in the forecast. First of all, is this band of clouds that's starting to come over us. Right now, there's just kind of some high clouds, but there is the potential that some thunderstorms could actually be triggered off of those. I'm not really overly concerned about it, but it is a heads-up situation. There are actually red flag warnings out for it, south of us, not in our area. So if you do hear any radio traffic or anything like that about red flag warnings, it's not for our area. So be watching these clouds over the next 4 hours. By about noon, they should be through us. They might be able to trigger a thunderstorm, but I'm not too overly concerned about it. Okay, as far as the weather goes, the western branches continue to be under the fog and marine layer in the morning. Their winds are mainly out of the west, persistently throughout the day. The top of the marine layer is about 2,000 feet, so there is a lot of dry air above that. So some of the ridges are in the dry air, Sugarloaf mainly. The majority of that fire is up in the dry air. As far as the inland branches go, it is relatively hot and dry. Humidities are coming up a little bit, and temperatures are coming down a little bit over yesterday, but not too much. I think temperatures today will be in the mid-80s, and humidities will bottom out around 25%. Up here in Branch 1 and the northern portion of Branch 2, that seems to be the windiest spot on the fire. So the south or southwest winds are kicking in around noon, 1200 or so. And up in that area, they are occasionally getting speeds of 20, 22, 24 miles an hour on the more wind-prone areas. So that is a concern. The majority of the rest of the fire, I'm only expecting speeds maybe 10 miles or 8 miles an hour with gusts up to maybe 18 miles an hour. So by far, the windiest portion is up here in Branch 1. The inversion continues to get better and better each day. I see that persisting over the next few days, with the exception of the marine layer in the morning. Thank you. And
Okay, with our fire behavior, Bill Baxter.
Good morning. First off, I want to say that those thunderstorms, as they materialize, they trump everything. Okay, so that's something that we are going to monitor, and if it becomes an issue, we're going to notify everyone out there by radio, and there'll be a check back to make sure by the branches to make sure that everyone understands what's going on. However, everyone needs to be heads up about that. Fire behavior basically is not going to be very much different than yesterday. The conditions are going to be a little bit moister. Winds will be a little slightly stronger, but not much. Just remember, the fuels are really dry. The triggers, you get steady winds over 10 miles an hour, and or humidity is starting to drop down in the 20s. Expect fire behavior to happen. Okay. Basically, the western half of the fire here, closest to the ocean, we're going to have fog intrusions, and the fog basically is going to be about 1 to 2 miles inland from the ocean. We expect those fires to have very little activity. We are getting some activity out here on these fires up here, and that's just, I think, because they're directly exposed to the winds off the ocean. Remember what we talked about, this real dry air above about 2,500 feet. So out here in Red Mountain and down here in Sugarloaf, we are seeing some pretty good fire activity. Remember also that this is mostly fuels and slope driven. However, our biggest concern is up in this area right here, where we have the driest conditions and we have some of the strongest winds, especially where the winds are in alignment with the canyons. Today, the probability of ignition up here is going to be about 85%, so spotting is going to be an issue. And we have potential for runs of about 3 miles per hour with flame lanes of about 35 feet and out there in the brush. So have a heads up day. Remember those triggers and be heads up about the thunderstorms. Thank you.
With safety, Lou Cicchetti.
Good morning. Today's safety message discusses the tree safety. The trees and snags, scars at the base, tend to burn out during fires and then they come down over time. So that's an ongoing hazard. It's a serious hazard to personnel in the area. Another issue of that I didn't put in the message was that we've got trees on the managed industrial timberland that have been treated with herbicide. They're standing dead trees. We've got a lot more of them out there than you'd normally find per acre, just naturally dead. So, and those are probably going to burn through and come down. So those have to be watched out. Please be diligent also with your driving. You've got a lot of narrow roadways. As I mentioned there, don't drive around